cause they black owned. I think I'm the GOAT. Bitch, I'm feeling like LeVar Ball. Taught these niggas with their guards off. Christine Lee is a blonde dot.
Okay.
So Milwaukee comes back and beats Toronto, 108-100. I believe the spread was 6.5. Pretty sad that you get.
Oh my God.
What?
Of course it was. Of course the spread was 6.5 for Milwaukee.
Oh yeah.
It's just, and they cover it by 1.5 points, dude. Why would anybody bet on this shit, dude? It's excruciating.
Yeah, to watch a whole game, have money come down to that would just be really difficult to watch.
It may be outblasted, but I would think that because of the way Raptors played last game to close out that series, you would be hard pressed to take Milwaukee negative 6.5. Like that's a little bit of a stretch. Even if you thought Milwaukee win the game, that's a quote unquote a lot of points to cover, and of course they cover it barely. That's just too nerve wracking. I don't know how people bet on that, dude. It'd be worse than even like rooting for your team, dude.
So yeah, I don't know how people do it with money on the line.
Bro.
So the Raptors at halftime had 59 to the Bucks 51.
And Milwaukee just crushed him in the fourth.
Well,
just crushed him.
The big thing was, I think through the first 3 quarters, the Bucks were 6 of 20 from 3. And then they just went on a stretch where I think they hit like 5 threes in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, I'm looking. I mean, Jesus Christ. Everybody has horrible 3-point statistics outside of Malcolm Brogdon. The best percentage I'm seeing is like 36% from Brook Lopez and then like 33. Everything's way lower after that. Malcolm Brogdon's the only one that stroked it. It seems like they just kept shooting it and said, fuck it.
So another thing to point out is
they went 11 for 44 from 3 as a team. The Bucks.
Another thing to point out is Giannis 24, 14, and 6, and it's really just not being talked about.
Because he went 7 for 16. I don't know, just what he's been doing, you almost expect more, right? They won, so who cares? But like, Brook Lopez drops 29-11. It's hard to like, I don't know. You just think you're spoiled with Giannis's recent performances, and you're expecting even more. You expect him to go to Final Four mode right now.
I think that's a telling sign of how well people perceive his game, though. I mean, when you're expecting that out of him, to me, that's in that KD and LeBron tier.
Right, where 24, 14, and 6 isn't enough on not a bad shooting night, but like not a great shooting night. What you expect from Giannis? Giannis is the kind of guy who dropped 15 for 20 from the field, 7 for 16. Like if you saw KD specifically, we're comparing, go 7 for 16, you'd be like, well, KD had an off night, and you say the same thing about Giannis.
Yep. As far as the most promising team, I mean, the thing is, the Raptors were looking good as a whole.
It just seems like they choked it away.
I think
that's all it looks like.
The telltale sign of the game was in the final 3 minutes, 30 seconds of the fourth, the Raptors scored 0 points to the Bucks 10. The Raptors were 0 of 8 from the field and 0 of 1 from the free throw line.
They just crumbled in the biggest moment, as is Toronto Raptors' nature.
I mean, that's the Toronto Raptors
that I know. That's what they're known for. And imagine being one of their fans and just being as sick as they are after all these years of that, coming off that win, having a chance to steal the game out, playing them to like early fourth quarter and just choking it away in typical Toronto fashion. It's so hard to get excited about this team. My biggest team to win the series, and you can't get excited about them because they break your heart every time.
And that's even with the addition of Kawhi.
Right. You got a guy who's won a chip, who's been a part of winning culture. You think he comes into this team who's won, but not on that level. But I just think I've sold Milwaukee short. Milwaukee's disgusting. They didn't play good tonight, and they still found a way to win. They suffocated them at the end of the game, apparently. Like, look at the Bucks, we're like, Milwaukee didn't do anything impressive, but they found a way to win at home. That's why they're the number 1 seed.
And to the Raptors, not only the addition of Kawhi Leonard, but you got veteran leadership like Danny Green and Marc Gasol and Serge Ibaka, and you're still choking like this?
Right. There's no excuse for Toronto, but it's almost like it's beating a dead horse to just keep beating on Toronto. It's. I feel we just have to highlight Milwaukee. Malcolm Brogdon off the bench had a huge game. Brook Lopez, 29-11. I mean, who would have thought Brook Lopez would be the guy we're saying who destroyed in the first game and would have like carried Milwaukee to the W? Like Giannis was there doing his thing, but Brook had an above average game. Let's be honest.
You'd be more likely to say Chris Middleton would hard carry
exactly.
than Brook Lopez.
That's what I'm saying. So to see 29-11 in the minutes and the efficiency, and the only guy who had a decent percentage from 3 for the Bucks other than Malcolm Brogdon, like, what else could Brook Lopez have done for the Bucks tonight? Giannis has an off night. Toronto loses. It's not looking good for Toronto. I thought Toronto could take it, but don't get excited about Toronto, right? I should know by now.
As far as game 2 goes, I think you got to look at it a certain way. I mean, are you going to get another 29 out of Brook Lopez? Probably not.
Is Kawhi going to go 10 for 26 from the floor?
But
no.
I mean, to the flip side, is Kyle Lowry really going to go 10 of 15 from the field and get you 30?
So no. So how can you feel good about Toronto when Kyle played that good? Milwaukee played extremely average outside of the highlights of obviously we see Brook Lopez and Malcolm Brogdon. How can you get excited about Toronto going forward knowing Kyle Lowry's not going to do that again?
You don't.
He's not.
Yeah.
You have to hope that Kawhi flips that and does what Kyle did tonight, basically, or more, and then Mark wakes up, and Danny Green, 35 minutes, 1 for 5 from the field. What happened to Danny Green? What happened to clutch playoff Danny Green, dagger Danny Green?
Yeah, he was the 3-point legend there for a little bit.
35 minutes, 1 for 5. What's he doing on the court? What is he doing? 35 minutes. No, I'm not saying like why is he in the game. I'm saying what is he actually doing when he's on the court? 35 minutes, 1 for 5.
Oh yeah, only jacking up 5 shots. You're only getting up 1 shot a quarter. Come on, brother.
You're just not doing anything. Like if you're in the game for 35 minutes, we'd rather you go 0 for 11, right? Like do something though. 1 for 5, 5 shots. He's shooting a shot every 7 minutes. What is he doing on the court?
Yeah, it's like, are you just standing in the corner? What exactly are you doing to only get 5 shots up in a game?
And that's the thing. Toronto's getting minimal minutes off the bench. They have like 40 total minutes off the bench, whereas the Raptors are getting hella minutes. Maybe not so much more production, but obviously from Brogdon tonight. And 3 people coming off the bench for the Raptors. 0 impact. 0. And Danny Green starting playing 35 minutes, doing nothing. And Marc Gasol, playoff veteran, been in these games before. I've referenced it multiple times. I love Marc Gasol's game. What am I looking at with Marc Gasol's game tonight, bro? Come on. You just gotta feel bad for Kawhi and Kyle Lowry. They did what they fucking could, and it seems like they outplayed them for the majority of the game. But Milwaukee's just a better team, and it's the story of Toronto's org.
Yeah, I mean Milwaukee's the better 3-point shooting team. I believe they're top 2 3-point team in the league, and they shot 25% from 3 tonight. It is not looking good for Toronto.
You know what Milwaukee got off the bench tonight? They got George Hill going 0 for 6 and with 27 minutes. How does Milwaukee win this game? It's mind-numbing. Like, you cannot believe that Toronto can win this series after looking at it like this. There's just no way. And I picked them to win the series in 6. They can't win this series if they can't win this game.
Yeah, they basically had it all lined up for Milwaukee to not have enough in the tank to win, and they just go out and blow it.
Malcolm Brogdon. I mean, outside of the obvious people in Brooke obviously, but Malcolm Brogdon, low-key, has to be the difference.
So let's go to Golden State and Portland. Steph does his Steph bullshit. He hit 9 threes last night. He was 9 of 15 from 3. He had 36, 6, and 7.
9 of 15.
And I mean, Klay Thompson was pretty hot too. He had 26 last night, so they combined for 62 together.
Just imagine a guy before Curry shooting 15 threes in a game. What that would be looked at like what's this guy doing?
He's just jacking shit up.
This guy's chucking? Like, yeah, what, 15 threes in a game? That's not like 9 for 15. He is literally a different... You just not see anything like it. There's no way to defend it if he's on, right? Like, if he's hitting that... And obviously, they're dropping back and just letting him walk into threes, but...
Yeah, we'll touch on that in a second.
When a guy's willing to take those shots and he can hit them over and over and over again, when Curry's on, I mean, you're screwed, but...
And it's not even so much where you can just have someone shadow him all night. He is such a good ball handler that in how he plays the screens that he's going to get an open shot.
Exactly. And that's the thing, because Dame's a great defender, but when he gets picked, if these guys are dropping back, like, it doesn't mean anything. Steph's pulling up, cash in with no problem every time. Like, Portland's lost on how to check Curry from the 3-point line, and that's what 9 of 15 shows you. Like, Jesus Christ, they just let him do what he wanted.
So yeah, on these picks, for anyone that was able to see any of that game, Curry would have the ball, top of the 3-point line, get the pick set for him, and the big man that is supposed to take on Curry just sat back in coverage by the block. I mean, he didn't even make it in
because the majority of the times it's Enes Kanter, right?
Yes, he was the one that was switching.
So the problem with that is if it's Steph Curry versus Enes Kanter's lateral quickness is 0. So if he rushes out on Steph, yes, he defends the 3, but then Steph goes by for a bucket at the hoop or a kick out to one of their snipers. Like, it is what it is. It's the problem with Golden State. You just have to hope they start missing shots. Like, realistically, there's no like one way to defend Golden State. You have to hope they miss shots. Enes Kanter can't run with Curry on the perimeter, but they need Enes Kanter on the floor. So what are you going to do?
I think that you take Kanter off the court. You have to. You can't keep giving that up because he's going to hit it.
But it's just because they'll just keep isolating Kanter in the pick and roll.
That's
and
all.
There's literally nothing
exactly.
they can do.
And for Klay and Steph, that's a layup. They're going to shoot.
It really is. And either way, like I said, if Kanter comes out and rushes Steph, is like, no, we're not letting Steph shoot the 3. What does he do? He drives to the hole, draws the defenders, kicks to Klay, and Klay shoots a fucking warm-up jumper. So,
yeah, I mean, that's
Portland can't win this series. I wanted them to win a couple games, but it's quite obvious that the way Golden State plays and the way that they need Kanter on the floor, it's not going to work. You can't run around chasing Golden State's guards with that guy. Sure.
So let me ask you this. KD being out last night, to me, that looked like the team that was 73-9. Like, how dominant they really were.
Well, in the backcourt specifically, Steph and Klay just torched them. And, yeah, as much as I'm a Steph Curry hater to a degree, because just the style and it's weird, I'm slow. I'm a laggard to the play style. I'm not accepting of Steph pulling up from 40 off the dribble all the time. It's nice to watch, but wow, like to do that to them, Steph and Klay on the game, and Portland knows, we got a chance. We got to take this game. KD's not playing. There wasn't a chance.
No.
It was never a game. And yeah, like you were saying, that is the team that we saw before Durant joined. That was really hungry. It had all that talent. And I guess, for like Clay and Steph, it was a chance to prove a point that, we don't quote unquote need KD. They do, but they sure didn't murk Portland without him.
Without KD, since he has been with the Warriors, they are 29-1 when he does not play.
Yeah, but we're talking about the best team ever. So fuck it.
Well, so here's the thing. When we say the greatest team ever, we're saying the best talent ever assembled. That team, as a team, the way they play is better.
They're that good. Yeah, and their play style, but they're that good that they can miss KD, quote unquote, best player in the world, and still be the best team in the world. That's why it's so annoying. So annoying. Like, they can do what they did to Portland without him.
So, I mean, I don't know. It's just 28-1. No, it's 28-1, not 29-1. It's 28-1 in the last 29 when Durant's out. That's just.
Well, that's great, but what does Durant do for him when it matters most?
That's true.
Quite a lot. He's not missing in those games, so whatever. They're beating teams in the regular season when Durant's not playing. Whatever. This is the first time he's missed time in the playoffs for the Warriors. So that stat, I don't care about that stat, I guess. I don't.
I look at that stat like they still won the game.
Or this game last night against Portland, that's a big deal to me. The fact that the Warriors made that kind of statement without KD. But if we're talking about 28-1 in the regular season, and we're talking about Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, DeMarcus Cousins this year, great, good job, guys. Good regular season win. You guys are nasty, Team USA.
But I mean, the blowout 22 in the Western Conference Finals, still without him. When, I mean,
No, I'm saying that game means a lot tonight. I'm big on that, but not that stat about the record without KD.
I believe KD's supposed to miss game 2 as well.
Portland has to win that game.
If they want to have any prayer, and the spread is 7.5 Golden State.
Sign me up.
Yeah, throw it all out there.
Sign me up for. I mean, I really desperately want Portland to win that game, but sign me up for Golden State covering that.
So we're talking heavy on how good Golden State looked. How pathetic did Portland look last night? Like they literally did not look like they were playing for anything. It looked like a regular season game with the way they played.
I give you the cliche, the 7-game series, the win on the road, the long road, all the bullshit that you don't want to hear, and they went in there and got smoked by a better team, period.
I don't like to hear that at all. I really don't.
And that's just what they'll want you to believe, but in reality, it's just the same storyline everybody's been saying all year that everybody already knows. Golden State's better. Like, they're a better team. They're going to beat them. It doesn't matter if they don't have Durant as much as everybody wants it to matter. Portland couldn't beat it without Durant either. So when Durant comes back, if he does this series, which he probably doesn't need to, like, there's no win for Portland here. They're good. They did very well to get to this point, but until Durant leaves, bro, this shit's on lockdown.
That's the way it's looking.
Until Durant can counter the Warriors like dominance, the Warriors win.
So you want to hit on You want to hit on AD or Zion first?
Zion. Gives a shit about Anthony Davis right now. Let's talk about Zion.
So the draft lottery took place last night. The Pelicans got first pick. I believe.
Mind blowing.
I think the Grizzlies have second.
Yep. And Knicks third.
Lakers fourth.
Cavs fifth.
That's all that really matters.
Right after that, whatever. But
So, before we hit on Zion, how pointless is it to tank in the NBA now, dude? If you can get the worst record in the league and still not get first pick, what's the point?
the 4 worst records in the league got the, if I'm not mistaken, 3rd, 5th, 6th, and 7th picks in the draft.
Like, what
So
is that?
if that doesn't tell you that tanking is dead and that you shouldn't tank in the NBA, then I don't know what will, because that's crazy, and it almost seems unfair. But in my own perception, I like it. I like you can't purposely lose in a competitive league where people are making millions of dollars and benefit. I don't know. It's different if you're the Browns in the NFL and deserves a base after the years of suffering. But when you see the Knicks, the Bulls, and the Cavaliers, storied franchises taking, I don't feel bad for them. I don't. The Knicks got the 3rd pick. The Suns got the 6th pick. The Cavs got the 5th pick. The Bulls got the 7th pick. That was the 4 worst teams in the league.
So, I'll say this. I don't like tanking. I don't. I've never been a fan of it, but I don't like how the draft lottery is set up to where you could have the worst record in the league. What if you just literally have the worst talent in the league? Like, your organization is in the shitter, and you need a player like this to completely turn it around. Not even considering markets or anything. Let's just say it's the Charlotte Bobcats, where they just have the bottom tier talent in the league, and they could use this guy to elevate them, and then finally be a destination, and they get like the 5th pick. Like, what in the hell is that? It's all by.
Well, like the Knicks, if you just go based on record, Knicks 17-65. That doesn't look like a team that needs some help. They got the 3rd pick. They could have really used Zion, which, granted, what we know and what everybody's talking about is that Kitty might go to the Knicks, so let's not feel bad for the Knicks. But in a general situation like you're speaking of, a team goes 17-65. Them motherfuckers need some help.
Yeah.
They could use a Zion Williamson, and the way the lottery's set up, it's just not happening anymore.
No.
It is weird. I'm a fan because I like the idea of deterring tanking. I think that's a joke. I'm competitive. I just think that that's corny. But god damn, the fact that none of them got a top 2 pick and only one and the max wins was 22. Like, oh my gosh, you're just not giving those franchises outside the Knicks. Hopefully, if they get blessed by KD, you're not giving those franchises a huge chance to rebuild.
No. They're just gonna stay in the shitter pretty much.
Right, like the Suns, the Cavs, and the Bulls. Like, I don't know what your thoughts are. Like, they don't have the picks to change their team at that point. Like, that's the whole idea. If they're that bad, like, I don't know.
Now that's not.
It's just a weird. It's a weird topic. Like, I don't know. The draft lottery's always been weird.
Now, it's not to say that you can't get, say, 5 through 10 pick in the first round and it completely change your franchise. But when we're talking about, like, Zion Morrison and Ja Morant and RJ Barrett, mainly Zion, of course, it's just, I don't like the idea of how the draft lottery is set up.
Right, and I'm not mad that the Knicks didn't get it. But one of those other teams could have really used Zion. 100%.
So speaking of Zion, how much do you think that he makes an impact on wherever he goes? It's obviously looking like the Pelicans, but honestly, with this much talent, who knows what can really happen to where he just says, trade me, I'm not playing, or what. I don't think that's going to happen, but with this kind of talent, you never know.
It's all just dependent on what happens with the Pelicans situation. Like, if they get rid of AD, what talent is brought in around Zion. I don't think Zion's going to refuse to play for the Pelicans. That doesn't seem like him. But like I said, we'll just wait and see with the AD situation. AD said he still wants traded, regardless of the Zion draft pick, all that shit. So you just gotta wait and see. LA, New York, whatever the AD trade ends up being.
Is this a good time for Duke to pitch in their money talks to him and be like, hey, look, we'll still give you some money to come back here and play?
Yeah, for sure. Obviously, if Duke can, that's the problem. But they can't compete with what he's going to be offered. That's the Duke can give him the most ever, and it wouldn't really come near like what he could make.
No, I'm joking. That's a complete joke to go there and not make
I'd
millions of
almost
dollars.
want to see him at Duke again. I want to see him play for the Pelicans, but that's not going to happen.
So as far as
he plays for the Pelicans, and he just has to hope that whoever they trade AD for brings in enough talent to help accentuate what he does on the court well.
I think his impact is, what's the best way? I think he's not gonna be the guy that completely changes the Pelicans, but he's not right away. I think that he's gonna come in and he's gonna do some of the shit he did at Duke with his athleticism. I think it's gonna take probably 3 years before he starts making an impact of like where he goes, they start to win more.
I just think like the argument Colin's been making too, Colin Cowherd, Zion is just the personality that attracts players to. I just don't see it taking 3 years for him to make an impact and push the Pelicans forward. If it is the Pelicans that we're talking about, because who knows, this shit could be changing by the hour.
That's what we have to believe right now, so that's what we have to expect.
But going off Colin's point, I feel that he will have a team within that time period you're talking about that will ascend whatever team he's on to the level that you might say that he might not be getting to. I don't know if it'll take 3 years.
I think that he gets there to the point that we're talking about. I just think it takes him longer than what people are expecting out of him.
And I don't. I honestly don't. He might get there sooner.
You think sooner than later?
It all depends on what happens with this AD thing, but yeah. But this AD situation is really what I have to see what he's gonna have, right? Like,
so what do you think his play style is going to be? Is he going to be a ISO drive guy? Is he going to be a post up guy?
He's gonna be a cross between LeBron, Karl Malone, and George Gervin. That is Zion Williamson.
When you say LeBron, you're meaning drive like him. You're not meaning facilitate.
Athleticism. I'm more so putting my eggs on the athleticism with LeBron because Karl and George aren't as athletic as Zion, but I think that's the play style cross between them with LeBron's athleticism that he'll be able to emulate.
Yeah, how Zion can just bully in the paint is still going to be a thing. You're not 280 and you don't bully people.
Finesse.
And the explosion he has.
With overall explosion athleticism. That's why I think LeBron, George Gervin, and Karl Malone.
I don't know that I can throw any comparisons out there like that.
There is really none. Zion's a different kind of player.
I mean, I see what you were saying by like the combined style, like how he's going to do it. I just think that to start out, he's going to be an ISO guy in the post, high post, maybe like up around the elbow, and then I just don't see anything more than that coming in from him.
So you think he will be limited all the way throughout his career, no matter how spectacular athletically he is?
No, I'm saying his because I said that year 2 to 3, more likely 3, is when he peaks and he's like a game changer. I think coming in his rookie year, his first 2 years, he doesn't make the impact what people are making him out to be.
I mean, that's fair. He's 1 year out of, but I just disagree. I think he's that disgusting. I just don't think But like I said, I keep saying this is such a cop out, but I got to see who he's playing with first because who knows what that roster is going to look like. But if you give him some players, dude, and the West is still really good, but I don't know if like top heavy it is what it once was. So I just don't think it's ridiculous to think if he's with the Pelicans and gets some players around that he could not make some noise in the West. Personally, it's not as top heavy as it was 2 to 3 years ago. It's Golden State.
Put it this way, I wouldn't be surprised if he comes in and is a game changer because I know the ability he has and the potential. I'm just not seeing it right away. That's where I'm going at with mine.
I feel you. We've been way too. I see Bear in the Discord.
Bear's in the Discord? He's out of the Discord.
He was. Yeah, he left. I don't know.
So.
But we just spent way too long on Zion.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I think you said earlier you see Davis going to the Lakers.
Bear tried to join a glitch. Yes, but if KD goes to the Knicks and AD waits for that, who knows, dude? Who do you want to play with, KD or LeBron? It's a hard decision.
Well, that's really
tough. And the conference situation too. There's a lot that goes into that.
I think you almost, because you don't know how much more LeBron has, you can guarantee that KD has more. I think you go with the Knicks and KD.
Yeah, especially being AD and being young. I think it just do that as attractive as playing with LeBron might be to someone like Anthony Davis. I think KD's got a lot left, and people want to play with KD. People want to win chips. KD won chips. That's literally how it works. It's not that complicated. It's not that complicated. KD won chips. People are going to want to play with him because of the name.
People make it seem like it's difficult to play with LeBron.
Yeah, but
because you have to completely change how you play because
up to a different level.
You have to change how you play though because the offense is ran one way through him.
Yeah, but I mean, I just think like the way he accentuated Mike Miller, Shane Battier, Mario, even talents, like for the Miami Heat players that would have never had that kind of an impact in games like that. Like, I don't know, the idea that it's hard to play with him, yeah, maybe if you're a pussy. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not saying that I agree or disagree. I'm just saying that I've heard on multiple occasions that people say it's not the easiest playing with him. And maybe it's because those people are mentally weak.
Was it easy to play with Michael Jordan? Probably. But he won.
Right.
Who gives a shit if it's easy to play with him? And that's something that people care too much about. Like, who gives a shit if the guy's a prick? If he wins with you, you win. Like, whatever. Winning is the goal. That other shit is secondary. Like, if LeBron's a dickhead in the middle of the game, whatever, dude. Like, he has the right to be a dickhead.
Yeah,
he's LeBron.
Yeah, he's earned that badge where, I mean, like you said, he demands the best out of you, and if he doesn't get it, he's going to let you fucking know about it because you need to bring your A game times 10.
Yeah, that's just like LeBron's like the end of that era. People are just too soft. You can't bitch on him anymore.
So, last thing on AD, do you make him your number one franchise guy, or do you think he's better suited to be your number two?
Wow. This will probably sound corny, but I'd say that you would probably a year or a little bit longer ago say definitely number one. But the way I'm thinking about his trade situation, I feel like he is a more ideal number two.
I don't think it's wrong to say that.
As weird as that is, because we're talking about like a top top 5, top 6 talent. But so was Russell Westbrook for how many years, right?
Mm-hmm.
And is Russell Westbrook the guy you want to start your franchise with? Is he a number one guy?
No.
No.
And that's like Kyrie.
He's just a monster. He's just a monster, but he's not the guy that, like, I don't know.
I mean, think about it. Boston last year without Kyrie, Eastern Conference Finals looked amazing as a team. They add Kyrie, and they look like dog
Suddenly
shit.
Jason Tatum doesn't know how to play basketball anymore.
Yeah, like, how well are you really elevating others, and how well is your leadership skills?
Right, like...
And there's nothing wrong with that. You can still go out and be the talent that you are.
Right, and that's the thing. Anthony is such a... I don't know. If you put him with LeBron or KD, who knows what he would look like? So it's almost speculation, but it's just like, would I start with my team with AD? There's a lot of players I feel like I would start with before him, definitely. Like, honestly. And maybe if you asked me a year ago, it would be different. But just the way that things have played out with him.
So I'm good on
AD. A few people I would take.
I'm with
Yeah,
you on
the.
AD. I'm with you on the him being a second over a first.
Just in the current atmosphere of what the trade's looking like, too. He's not going to be number one if he's playing with LeBron or KD.
Nope.
That's for sure.
So I'm good on the AD talk.
Yeah.
ML,
We spent too much on Zion and AD, but they can never say that we didn't give it enough attention.
right.
Look at it one of two ways.
I thought we
Glass
made
half full.
good points on it regardless. Fuck the haters.
Zion's interesting. AD, I'm tired of hearing about AD, honestly. Just do something.
So MLB last night, Chris Sale, career high, 17 strikeouts through 7 innings, and he got pulled, which resulted in the Red Sox losing in the 11th.
7 full?
Yep.
That's all it was. 7 full, 17 Ks.
Correct.
Wow. I thought you were saying, like, I didn't even see it. I saw 17 Ks. Complete game.
No, not a complete game.
That's actually disgusting.
Oh, yeah, it's completely filthy.
Jesus. He's getting... That's like 2.5 an inning. Wow.
Yeah, he's looking remarkable.
Wait, he got pulled? The old pitch count?
Good question as to why. Didn't see anything as to reasoning. I'm guessing just fatigue. Not sure, to be honest with you.
Yeah, he's got hit with the old pitch count, boys. You hate to see it as a pitcher.
I just know that it would be very difficult for me to take my pitcher out that has 17 strikeouts.
Yeah, I just couldn't imagine having 17 strikeouts through 7 and then getting pulled with 2 innings left to like pad that. That would hurt a lot, but tip your cap, get him next time, boys.
And the thing is, when he was taken out, the Rockies only had 2 runs, and that was in the 7th inning. So, I mean, maybe it was because he gave up 2 runs, but, I mean, you guys didn't score anything hardly. I mean, Boston just didn't look that good as a team.
Wait, if that's what it was, then they probably just felt like, fuck.
But they were up 3. They were up 3-2.
Oh wait, you're saying the Red Sox were winning?
Yeah, they were up 3-2.
Okay, never mind. You were saying they weren't doing shit, so then that makes 0 sense why they put him. Unless something happened. I got 17 Ks.
I just wasn't completely with that whole taking him out thing. Other than that,
Who would be?
Vlad Jr. went yard twice for his first ever multi-home run game. Dude can freaking launch a baseball. Other than that, the Yanks.
The Yankees injured reserve. Let's hear the injured reserve review.
In our third baseman, Miguel Andujar, who just came back from the IL, is having season-ending surgery. So we're having fun. The one thing that I will say...
A lot of good stuff going on for the Yankees health-wise.
The one positive out of all this is we've had 17 guys go on the injured reserve. Well, not injured reserve, the injured list, the IL.
He's not the DL anymore. What a joke.
And they've only lost 16 games.
So there you go. Yeah.
Play, guys.
Yeah. Well, fuck. And they're injured list.
It is what it is, boys.
Period.
So the one thing that I was really interested on hitting tonight was the NFL point that I wanted to chat about. So outside of a quarterback in the league, because I mean, when you're starting a franchise, you always think quarterbacks first. Who are you starting a team with for your franchise? Just not talking quarterbacks at all.
Yeah, I'm hitting you with the reverse Uno card. You already know what I'm gonna say, so I'm just hitting you with the reverse Uno card. Go ahead.
So to me, it's between Khalil Mack and Aaron Donald. I'm gonna go Aaron Donald, and I'll tell you why. Dude gets double teamed almost every play. So right there, he's taking two guys off the line. I mean, right there, you're already at an advantage. But with that being said, he had 20 sacks last year as a defensive lineman, not an end. And this guy's getting doubled. Like, this guy is causing pressure almost every other play. And, I mean, he's in on every play. It's not like a wide receiver, like a point that Bear made a week or two ago where they can only impact the game if they get the ball thrown to them. That's the only way they can impact the game. I mean, if they're getting doubled every time and you have an average quarterback, I mean, what kind of impact can that guy really make? So someone that can get to the quarterback, may at least get pressure every play. I mean, that's winning football to me.
So you took Aaron Donald as your...
Yeah, Aaron Donald is my number one pick in the 2019 Wake and Take draft.
Okay. I hear that.
Who you rocking with?
So outside of quarterbacks, see, JJ is such an easy pick to go with, but I feel like people will be like, JJ's getting hurt, blah blah blah.
Which is the thing.
And I like Todd Gurley to go to the offensive side. I think I would love to start my franchise with Todd Gurley. I think a lot of people would. So, I'll take JJ out of it because I feel like it'll be always looked at in a jaded perspective because we're not talking. JJ's been hurt. We haven't seen, MVP JJ. So whatever. I feel like JJ is definitely a guy who I would go with. I would put it between like Todd Gurley and Von Miller, to be honest.
Vaughn, that's a nice pickup.
If you gave me those two, I would probably flip a coin on who I would take, Todd Gurley or Von Miller, to go with my franchise. Either or could impact the game on so many levels from their side of the ball.
That's where I was going with my 1A is Aaron Donald and my 1B is Khalil Mack. So
right.
It's just
shout out to the Raiders.
Shout out to the defensive players getting the love. I mean,
shout out to the Raiders
for joking the Khalil Mack thing.
Yeah, just shout out.
Yeah, I'll give him the shout out on Twit. But
Shout out to the Raiders.
But in such an offensive favored league, isn't it wild that you don't want to start your team with Antonio Brown, Le'Veon Bell?
That's just all depending on like Antonio Brown. If you have,
That's just
if you
it.
have,
We don't know what our quarterback's going to be.
imagine Antonio Brown going to like Miami, the quarterback situation that's there for however. What's Antonio Brown doing for the franchise? Regardless, you know what I mean.
Yeah, he's not doing anything.
It all depends. Like Bear's point that you alluded to, he can be amazing. Look at where Randy Moss went and then came back to New England and just become the GOAT again when he was with the Raiders and did nothing. Like you can only control the game so much from that position. I feel like running back on offense is probably the one where you can control because you're getting the most touches usually.
Yeah.
And then the other most impactful positions are probably the ones that we're talking about.
Yeah, the pass rushers.
Pass rushers are just like interior D line. It's hard to touch on deep like defensive backs' impact because you just don't see every play. You don't see what they're doing every play down in the route 20 yards deep unless you're at the game.
So, as far as your team goes, are you wanting to make it a priority to have the best line, the best D line, defensive backs, or what? What do you think's the most important for a team to win?
O-line, and then find a serviceable running back.
So you think go O-line and then build a running back around that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Or, I mean, not even that, but just even if you have an amazing O-line, like Tom Brady's usually had amazing O-lines, you can do a lot. If you have an amazing O-line, you can pretty much decide what you want to do on offense.
Yeah. And
depending on what your skill positions dictate, like that's the point. Get a good O-line. If you can score some points, hopefully we can figure out the other shit.
See, I'm on the flip side. I'd rather have a priority on pass rushing and then my front four, because you want to create so much pressure that you disrupt what they're wanting to do.
Yeah, but if you're the Jets and you score 13 game every year.
Right. Yeah, I mean, you got to score points to win. I mean, that's...
I just, you know what I mean? You can't, I don't know. Yes, having a great defense is good, but if you can't score points, it doesn't matter. And you've seen that many times where teams have gone, 8-8 because their defense is good, but they have a shit quarterback or they can't score points.
Yeah, I
feel like those quote-unquote gimmick scoring teams or whatever you want to call them always fare better than those teams that depend on a shit quarterback to bail them out 16-13 every week.
I'm with you on that.
People just love to point out how those top scoring teams don't win Super Bowls. They get to the playoffs at least. like the Drew Brees teams, they always love to say, well, teams can't win Super Bowls because they just score points. They don't play defense.
I don't know what that means.
It's stupid. It's the New England Patriots thing where they score points. They outside of last Super Bowl, they win chips. That's why they were down whatever against Atlanta. It doesn't matter because they win chips.
So I'm good on the NFL. I thought that was a good quick get in, get big, get out on that.
Right. Long ways away still. Unfortunately.
So one thing not sports related that I wanted to touch on was it Alabama that passed the law today?
Oh no.
Just real quick.
Or not.
Got to.
Yeah. Just wait. I got a little bit of lag on your end. Not even this joke because I heard what you were going into, but Alabama, the abortion ban or whatever.
So what did
what you were talking about?
What was the bill what does the bill actually state?
Couldn't tell you. I just saw it on the news today.
That they banned all abortions, right?
I just saw headline ban, and that in and of itself made me kind of cringe. So.
Yeah, I all I saw was the headline, and I just think that if it was like 5 or 10 years ago, you know what? No, fuck it. You just can't ban all abortions. Like, there's ethics
That's what I'm
involved.
saying. Just seeing that headline, I was like, wait. Like the Mr. Krabs meme I sent you guys earlier.
Yeah, like, come
like,
again?
Say what? Like, I was like, so I didn't know what I was looking at. I guess it's not surprising coming from Bama. Everybody knows.
Because you made a point. You made a point today when you told me about that. Because that's how I found out, is when you told me that. You made a point.
Yeah, I said some inspirational shit earlier. Let me pull it up.
Yeah, I'll let you say what exactly it is you said, because that couldn't have been more right on how you worded that.
God, this was earlier ago. We text too much in the group chat. We got it like.
Right, it's that queer bear.
The Jose Bautista Odor fight. That shit. That probably got me more hyped than anything today. I had to talk about that.
Odor completely rocked that guy.
Oh my god. That literally gave me life watching that video today. Just watching him like get pushed and be so about like the fucking.
Yeah, he just daddied Bautista, and that's really all there is to it.
Because you actually texted it before me, and I didn't even see it, and I said it randomly. I literally didn't see that you had said it before.
Really? I thought that you were the one that told me about
I didn't react to what you said. I thought, or maybe our shit glitched, because...
Yeah, I did. I sent the Bernie Sanders tweet to you.
Yeah, it was a Bernie Sanders thing.
Right, he said abortion is a constitutional right.
Okay, I see it. Okay. Yeah, you said people saying right of privacy is abortion. I said, I didn't even read that. I don't know what your text is. I didn't even see what you were saying about that. I said Alabama banned abortion, and you said I'm shaking.
The Barry McCockner, I'm shaking.
That was Bear. Oh my god, I thought that was you. I said it is pretty stupid and to be going back in that direction. I said neither side of it. It has to be all or nothing. There's the language within the law that could be compromised.
So you were breaking up a little bit there. I'm just going to read it so it's very clear. It's pretty. You said it's pretty stupid in 2019 to be going back in that direction. Neither argument on either side is perfect, and it's annoying that it has to be all or nothing. There's language that within the law could be compromised on, which I think we could both agree that language is ethics. Like, if a person was...
There's things that women have raised recently about, like, time period in which it should or should not be legal, and like missed periods, going extended lengths of periods of time. Like, I don't know, there's just a lot of stuff that needs to be talked about before they make like a decision like supposedly Alabama made, so we'll see. But let's get out of that.
Right, I just had to have it addressed of like how someone could possibly just
I don't want people showing up at my house with picket fences. So no matter what, just I tried. I did my best.
But yeah, that's all that I want to get on the abortion news
just the
for the day.
idea that you can't do it is ridiculous. Like, regardless, if anybody thinks that which you shouldn't be able to do it, you're cracked out of your mind. So, and the other way, I think it's like it should be done no matter what. It's, I don't know, give and nobody's willing to give, and that's how this country works.
Yep, there's no compromise
ever. So get used to it. It's just how it is.
One last thing, I just saw this on Twitter. It's sports related, Bob Gibson, pitcher for the Cardinals back in the day. His June and July stats from 1968, he had 12 starts, he threw 12 complete games, and he had 12 wins, 8 of which were shutouts and 6 runs allowed in those 12 starts.
Wow.
That
Nobody's
is
talking about that. Maybe Kershaw.
12 starts and 12 complete games and 12 wins, 8 of which
Maybe
were
Kershaw.
shutouts.
Maybe Kershaw. That's the only person that comes to mind.
Dude, that is remarkable.
Yeah, it is. He won an MVP though, right? Not.
Ooh, good question. I know that.
I'm pretty sure he was the last pitcher before Kershaw being a talking point, unless I'm twisted. How do you not win MVP? You win 12 games, 12 complete games, 12 shutouts.
Yeah, he was the 68 NL MVP, so that year.
Damn.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he was last pitching. So,
He's one of the
just
most
throwing some respect to Clayton Kershaw's.
He's one of the most underrated pitchers of all time. People love to talk about Sandy Koufax. Sandy Koufax. Bob.
Bob, for sure.
People love to talk about Sandy Koufax, Nolan Ryan, Roger Clemens, Pedro, Greg Maddux.
Pedro. Drake.
Huh?
Pedro.
I'm just saying throw them into the conversation. I'm not saying that he is the best ever, but people throw him in there.
People throw Pedro in there? Top like 3 or 4?
Top 5.
Ooh, that's tough. And I like Pedro. Pedro's not top 5.
I'm not saying he's top 5 in my list, but I'm saying I've seen a few times where he has been in certain top analysts' opinion.
Clay, what am I going to do with call the Yankees my dad?
Huh?
So what am I going to do with shut up and call the Yankees my dad?
Dude, when he freaking bodied that Yankee coach whenever they had the ball.
Oh, God.
That was filthy.
Oh, my God. That's one of the funniest clips in sports history. And Pedro hits the old Olay on him. Get the fuck out of here. That's hilarious, dude.
But yeah, that's all I got. I just
Red Sox at its best.
I just saw the Bob Gibson thing and just wanted to shout that out real quick. Do you have anything else?
Go back to your list. Make sure we didn't miss anything.
We didn't.
I know we didn't say anything about MMA, but there's probably no update on anything MMA world.
No, I didn't see anything about anything new.
No, it was mainly lottery. Oh, Steph Curry and Klay Thompson, best backcourt ever?
It's looking that way.
Right. It really is, unfortunately. And Bear placed the argument of like LeBron, Dwayne Wade, but it's a weird argument because, like, yeah, LeBron's a point guard, but
he's not at the same time.
Not in the same way that Klay and Steph play that position and guard those positions on defense every time. LeBron might guard the point guard sometimes, but...
Or like you could say Ben Simmons, just because he's tall, like he is a point guard.
Well, like, LeBron might bring the ball up against the State, but for the majority of the time against Golden State, he's guarding Kevin Durant or Draymond Green. Yeah. So, is he the point guard? No. Like, by position. So, I don't know that you can count LeBron and Wade. If you count LeBron and Wade, that gets weird.
Yeah, I don't know that you do.
The best backcourt ever.
I think
not
that
just
is
the best shooting backcourt ever, which everybody wants to say.
Because Steph's more than just a shooter; he plays great defense.
So I give it to him. What were some other ones? Magic. I thought was the closest competition to him. I even threw in the low key, which is this is a joke. This is a troll, but the old Mike Bibby Peja Stojakovic.
That is a complete troll.
Peja Stojakovic was the most unstoppable shooter on all of the early NBA Live games. Literally did miss ever. He was Steph Curry on video games before Steph Curry. Peja Stojakovic never missed.
Yeah, he was the god on 2K.
I said Jerry West, Elgin Baylor, but Elgin Baylor was a small forward.
I threw in some Isaiah Thomas, Joe Dumars.
Yeah, and I've heard Bear say that about Joe Dumars. Maybe I'm sleeping on Joe Dumars. I'm a huge Isaiah fan.
Yeah, he's very underrated. And I think one that Bear threw out earlier was Tony Parker and Manu Ginobili.
And Manu Ginobili, yeah.
So
we're remiss to not say they're guaranteed top 3 backcourt ever. Guaranteed.
Guarantee it. Vince McMahon.
Vince McMahon. Guarantee.
But yeah, I think it's a common thing to say that Steph and Clay are best backcourt now.
Yeah, I don't think that's ridiculous to say at all.
No.
Just what they've done, regardless of having KD or whatever, even what they did before him.
Right.
And just building off of that, at any given time, either of them can just completely bury a top team in a playoff game that means more than any. You just don't have duo backcourt guys like that. Nobody does.
No,
and that's why this shit. If KD's healthy, what are we even talking about? What are we even talking about? Nobody's beating Golden State. Nobody. Until KD leaves, nobody's beating them.
I still think that he gets them slightly out of their rhythm. Not that he makes them worse, but
flow?
What is it?
You think KD fucks up their flow?
Yeah, not saying that their talent isn't better, because that's obvious that when you add KD, but how they play as a team, I think that he disrupts that.
KD's just more methodical than they are. They're cracked out, running around the court, just chucking in. KD's smooth as hell, just gliding through,
getting to his spot rather than just running the perimeter.
Gliding through, they're just.
Mm-hmm.
And KD started to play he plays. Obviously, have to. He plays faster. He used to play even more methodically. He liked to back down for years. But I don't know. I just think if KD's healthy, nobody's really beating them in a series.
Not looking like it.
If Milwaukee does, I will be that guy, and I don't care, and I will sit here and talk about how great Milwaukee is. I don't care.
The NBA.
But I will sit here for the next 2 months and tell you how great Milwaukee is and how great Giannis is and how great all of them are. I would gladly do it, but Golden State's not losing.
Nope.
Book the ticket. They're not losing.
That's all I got for tonight.
Hopefully Durant leaves and it's over and the NBA's saved.
I hope so. Still think Golden State stays where they're at, though.
If Durant leaves, at least there's interest.
Yeah.
If Durant doesn't leave, what do we have this year? Oh, wow, all these teams look really young and interesting. This is great. But then, oh, wow, Golden State's still way better than everybody. Oh, my God.
Yep, not the way I want the league to continue, but...
Yeah, hopefully Durant saves it the way he ruined it and just leaves again.
But that's all I got for tonight.
Shout out to Bear.
Shout out Bear. Hopefully...
We stole some of his talking points.
Right.
Like Lords.
Hopefully he's on the next one. Think he will be.
Yeah, when there's a DJ Khaled, another one.
Another one. All right.
Another one.
Wake and take out.